Oh, yeah, we're back again. Hold on tight. We've got a good one today, folks. We're getting back into that Dybbuk box. Good woo. To warm us up for Dr. McCairn. Oh, yeah. Come on now, this gives you time to tickle the like button or the dislike button. I know I've got haters out there, but that's okay, that's okay. If you care, please share. And I will be back with you in just a moment. Dybbuk boxes all the way. Turn the lights down, close the curtains. Good woo on the way. There we go. We're back. We are live. I think it says on the back end of YouTube. Yes, indeed we are. Indeed we are. So not bad, eh? Not bad. Not bad. I bet you thought I was going to take another day off today. No. Can't be doing that. Oh, heck no. So yesterday's show with Nano Girl is up on the other channel right now. For anyone who didn't catch it live, it's over on YouTube. Kev Baker Show 1. One with all the crazy numbers of subscribers that really don't translate into crazy amounts of views. But that's okay, because over here is where I like to let my hair down. Look at the state of it, folks. This is what happens when you let a man at home lockdown hair and hacking away at it. It looks fine when it's kind of done, but obviously it's all different lengths, and now I look a bit, well, it's Kev Dave Baker here, right? It is what it is. So last night's show was epic. Loved it. It was great. Week to the birthday week here on KBS. Yes, indeed. Nano Girl had slides prepared for that. It was cringe. It was cringe, but it is birthday week. So today, another guilty pleasure of mine will be coming onto the show. And it's not just that he's a guilty pleasure. He's also somebody who has really, really kept me well informed of everything going on throughout all of the madness. And it is, of course, our friend, the Doc. Tonight it's real science, real talk with the Doc. And with that said, I've got a really, really good intro made up for tonight's show. So you don't want to miss that. That's for sure. But yeah, we'll be getting into that at 10 o'clock in the UK. And that is 5 p.m. on the East Coast and 2 p.m. on the West Coast. As you know, on the main show, we go right into the trenches. We fight in the info war. But over here on KBS2, what we tend to do is we keep it nice and light and we keep it for the woo. Because you might not know it, but I am one of the world's leading woologists. What's a woologist, you ask? Well, it's somebody that the mainstream would call a pseudoscientist. I'm qualified in nothing, but I've got opinions about everything. Yes, indeed. When it comes to the high strangeness, the supernatural, paranormal, this is definitely somewhere where you want to be hanging out on a regular basis with not just me, but all of you wonderful people out there in Chatland. And Connie today has got her name in purple and white gradient, I think that is. First in the chat. Well done, Connie. Good on you. Not going to miss this one, she says. She missed the last one. We've got Bernays in there keeping a big beady eye on everyone. Jose Ramon Francis. Our good friend Ron. We've got Bernays, Jocelyn, Jennifer. Now, their names are all in green. You might be thinking, well, why in green? Because we've got memberships here on the channel. So if you just want to click that join button down below, you'll see various options from really, really, really cheap. In fact, I think it's the cheapest that Google will go to really, really up there. And that's for people who want to. The memberships open up all the live streams for everyone. It's not like some tiered service. If your name's on the door, you get your name in green, you get all the emojis, you're in. You're in the inner circle, the inner sanctum. And we had good fun on the member stream yesterday. Bit different doing it on a Monday, but that was good. So back over here, we've got Celtic Cousin. I like it. Like the name, dude. Connie needs this today, don't we all? We always need our woo, Connie. Every day needs woo. So Ron is having problems. Wind just blew over the AC on the roof. The chickens come running, hiding under the house. Geez. Now I'm having some... Is anyone hearing a bit of a buzz or anything at home? No? Okay, I think it's away now. Maybe it's away. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Anywho. I hope it's not blue chickens, Ron. I hope it's not blue chickens. Now, give me a second. One. Definitely got an issue. But if you can't hear it at home, then I think we're good to go, right? Audio okay? I'm going to scroll down just to make sure the audio is okay. I'm buzzed though. No. Let's see. One, two. No. Still there. I'll fix it after the stream. It's all good. It's all good. So also in the chat room, we have got King, All Rise. What else we got here? Connie, Jocelyn, Bernays. I think I've got all of you. X Werry. Has anyone started seeing octopus and eyes everywhere? I see eyes everywhere. Everyone I pass in the street. Oh, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. Hang on now. Okay, so not that you need to know this, but Doc McCairn is currently getting dressed right now. So but there you go. I'm just going to drop him a link to this stream. Give me 2 seconds. We do it on the fly here, folks. There you go. There we go, there we go. So back to the chat room. Dragon and the Eye together says X. I'm just going to call you X, dude. Let's see now, hang on. I am really getting a bad buzzing. Anyone else hear that? No? 1, 2. Oh, it's bad. It's right bad. Anywho. Give me 2 secs. I'm going to put on some music for a second, folks. I'm going to try and fix this on the fly, okay? I apologise, but we'll try and do it on the fly. We'll try and do it quick. There we go. There we go. We have got a loose wire in a sea of wires. I'll need to fix it after the broadcast. There we go. Yeah, we're good. We're good now. We're good. So listen, let's waste no more time. Let's get into this because, like I say, tonight we're going to be doing a big show, hard hitting, with the doc, Dr. Kevin W. McCairn. We'll be doing that over on tfrlive.com, the home of the Kev Baker Show. And also, today will be simulcasted over on Kevin's YouTube channel. I'll be dropping a link in for that towards the end of the broadcast here. And then we'll jump on over there and we will get down, we will get dirty, and we will get into it. But today we're talking about the woo, the paranormal. And this topic here is something that we have covered quite a lot on the Kev Baker Show from time to time. And I remember talking quite extensively with a number of guests, including Ben Emlyn Jones, about the Dybbuk box. Now, we're talking about a very specific Dybbuk box today, and it was one that was bought back in 2001 at a yard sale by a guy called Kevin Manis. Now, this led to this one particular box going on to gaining infamy around the world as one of the most haunted items ever, a Dybbuk box. So we're going to take a look at what the Dybbuk box is, but unfortunately, the truth about the Dybbuk box has come out in the last couple of days. And we're going to take a look at that, and it might for some kill a little bit of the woo, a little bit of the story that led to a movie called The Possession being made about this very box. But I'm going to offer you some high strangeness that might still be attached to that box and any item if we will it to be so. So let's get into this. Dybbuk boxes, for anyone who doesn't know, it's the woologist breakdown of what a Dybbuk and a Dybbuk box is. First, ladies and gentlemen, yes, indeed, crash course. The Dybbuk, or Between Two Worlds, is a play. Well, no, we're not looking for that. We're looking for what the actual Dybbuk is, Kev. A Dybbuk. My word. There we go. Amateur hour, folks. So Dybbuk, also spell checked as D-I-B-B-U-K, plural Dybbukum, which is a great name. In Jewish folklore, is a disembodied human spirit that, because of former sins, wanders restlessly until it finds a haven in the body of a living person. Now, belief in such spirits was especially prevalent in the 16th and 17th century in Eastern Europe. Often, individuals suffering from nervous or mental disorders were taken to a miracle working rabbi who alone, it is believed, could expel the harmful Dybbuk through a religious rite of exorcism. And what they would do on occasion was they would take said spirit and they would contain it in a very special box, a Dybbuk box. So we're dealing with spirits, we're dealing with ghosts, and we're going to be dealing with a Dybbuk box, or more specifically, the Dybbuk box. But it's the real truth about the Dybbuk box, folks, and it's not good. It's not good. It really raises my skepticism yet higher, and I've become very skeptical in recent years about everything, right? I tell you, at this point, I'm going to have to really start questioning whether day follows night. We're going to have to actually check that every day, because who knows what's real anymore. But it is what it is, and I'm not going to kill the woo. No. I'm going to breathe a fresh life of high strangeness into all of this, okay? So it says, a Dybbuk in Jewish mythology is an evil spirit which can possess a living person. Most often, a male spirit that is sexually invades a woman on the eve of her wedding. It sounds a bit like when the English used to come up here and occupy my fine lands in Scotland. They would wait till the wedding night, and then they would take our brides away. But hey, not that I'm better. I'm going to put that Italy top back on, I think. The Dybbuk went on to possess popular culture. Too soon? Probably. The Dybbuk went on to possess popular culture by way of the Dybbuk box, which first came to light in 2003 when its then owner, Kevin Mannis, tried to sell an old wine box on eBay that he claimed to have bought in 2001 from the granddaughter of a recently deceased Holocaust survivor named Havela. Now, according to his description, Mannis was told that the grandmother always kept it shut and out of reach because there was a Dybbuk inside it that would cause bad things to happen. Bad juju, ladies and gentlemen. Tales of the bad things that happened, and you didn't think anyone listened to the warnings, did you? Have popped up in articles, books, podcasts, that's us, and movies. The possession. All the way up to recently, and the long list includes rooms mysteriously ransacked, disembodied voices, visions of an old hag, mysterious scratch marks and bruises, strange smells, inexplicable health problems, the stroke of one owner, famous people terrified by it, and more. This box has got the lot. It truly has. Truly has. Now, that just goes on to list all the things, but Kevin Mannis has now come forward with the real story and may also be worthy of a movie of a different kind. You've probably guessed it by now, ladies and gentlemen. You've probably guessed it. The shyster went and made it all up. He did. So it says, I am a creative writer. The Dybbuk box is a story that I created. And the Dybbuk box story has done exactly what I intended it to do when I posted it 20 years ago, which is to become an interactive horror story in real time. Now, in an interview with Charles Moss for Input magazine, Mannis reveals that he made up the tale of the Dybbuk box and explains how he did it. Now, while he indeed bought it at a garage sale in 2001, the seller was an attorney who said it was a wine box. Mannis himself made the famous carvings on the back in his creation, as is the mysterious stone inside. What about the 2 locks of hair? That's my hair. Yeah. So Matthew Shaggy Christensen, who worked with Mannis at a bar called Club Underground in Beaverton, Oregon. There's a joke in there, right, about a man named Shuggy that works at a bar in a place called Beaverton. There has to be. Confirmed what Mannis told Moss, The 2 locks of hair in the box were his. Kevin is one of the most brilliant people that I've ever met. I'm not talking about myself here, folks. Come on, I'm not that bad. The specific box was Kevin. The specific box was Kevin at a low point, needing some money. And in his brilliant mind came up with an incredible story that he knew would sell. And it became the phenomenon that it is now. Now, Kurt Morris, another friend from that time, confirmed Manus' story as well, giving the primary reason why he did it. Manus was not a millionaire in the mould of Forrest Fenn and his famous treasure chest, but a man with a fancy box in need of a few bucks and a change of luck after some bad experiences. So at the time I created the Dybbuk box, it was during Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, he writes in a Facebook message to me. I created the box whilst praying and asked for forgiveness for all the sins that I'd committed that I knew about, and perhaps even more important, the sins I had committed that I didn't know about. So Manus told Moss of a few truths in his story, and he really did give the Dybbuk box to his mother on a Halloween, and she did have a stroke shortly after. She also lied for her son in interviews about the box. However, one of the subsequent owners, Jason Haxton, after hearing Manus' confession, still believed the box has power. I always call it a wish box. Whoever created the Dybbuk box gave it a power to do something. The creation of the Dybbuk box and its story created a ripple effect in people's lives, and the sum of the Dybbuk box is greater than he ever imagined. And that's what I want to really hone in on, because this, for me, has got to be like one of the best examples, living examples, albeit an example of something not living, but very, very real. And that's what we call the tulpa, the thought form. We always, always, always talk about, and we question just how powerful our minds are, and what if our intentions can lead to. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, remember old Doc Miller, X-Files Doc? He came on, and it will always live with me when he kept on repeating. And at the time, I was kind of like, okay, we've heard it about 10 times now. But he kept on repeating and repeating that men need to take responsibility for the thoughts that they have. And he was really kind of tapping into the fact that if we believe something, if we put enough attention and focus and energy into something, it does actually, it can manifest. Now, this box has led to people having experiences around it. So now that we've been told that this is a fake box, we have to look at all of these events again. We have to look at them with fresh eyes and would look logically. Now, logic would say, possibly, just like Kevin Manus faked the story about the box, maybe the people, the subsequent owners, also had a bit of that about them. Maybe they were lying. That's okay. We can look at that. But I also think there's the flip side of that. The fact that this box could well have been causing things to happen around people, despite the fact it was just a box to begin with. Once you start to tell this story, give this box a bit of lore, and more people buy into it, right up all the way through people like me talking about it, many others on YouTube, all the way to the glitz and the glamour and the magic, the CK magic of Hollywood, and millions of people pouring attention into it. What do you think happens? Well, I can't prove that that gives life to all of the weirdness around the box, but it certainly adds weight to that argument, that conversation point, that we ourselves are very, very energetic beings. And not all monsters, not all ghosts are of our own creation. I'm not saying that, but I think some of them very, very much are. Think of the creepy Slender Man, things like that. Started as what? An art competition on creepypasta? People drawing scary characters? And then it leads to like real world stuff with young girls up in court because they done a really bad thing to one of their friends. Why? Because the Slender Man told them. But the Slender Man was a bloody drawing on the internet. See how these things can take on a life of their own? It might not be the box that was ever possessed to begin with, but what if that energy, that spirit that's been created, then goes on to dwell in one of the box owners? Oh, ooga booga, ooga booga. Ooga booga. Yes, indeed. So, despite the fact that Kevin Mannis has come out and kind of killed the whole Dybbuk box woo, I don't think he has. I really don't think he has at all. In fact, I think it gives us a window into something far more magical. Yes, indeed. The world is a very magical place, ladies and gentlemen. I know it looks dark. It looks pretty ominous right now. And it is. It is. It's not that I'm ignoring that. But at the same time, there's a whole lot of magic going on all around us and we just don't recognise it. So we're going to take a look at some other Dybbuk-y type stuff here. Got another article here. How to deal with a Dybbuk. You want the Jewish version of Bill Bean. I think that's what we're talking about. You know, if Bill was not the real deal and one of these shysters that you see running around being a bit of a showman, you know, you could start, like, if you knew one of these exorcists and things, get them to, like, say they've taken boxes to when they've done exorcisms. Then you could, like, have a right banging trade over on eBay selling haunted boxes. That's a thing. You can buy haunted items. You can. People do it. Remember, we had the guy, or we looked at the video from was it the Biscuit Tin podcast or the Tin Biscuit podcast, where they had bought the Dybbuk box that came from Boleskine House that I contest didn't come from Boleskine House. But now does it matter? Does it matter? Because once you start believing about it and once people start hearing about it, seeing it in the media, it might just take on a life of its own, despite where it came from originally. So over here, how to deal with Dybbuk, because it's like, it's not prepping 101. I mean, if you're one of these like preppers out there, I'm sure this is probably down the list a little bit, but you don't know what kind of apocalypse is coming around the corner. Tonight we'll be talking about zombies, for example. See, you never know, all right? But if it's Dybbuks that are coming, here's how you deal with it. So before the advent of modern medicine, it was believed that certain mental illnesses were caused by social media. I mean, demonic spirits. Did I say that? I think social media is indwelling people. I think that's turning people into what appears to be possessed entities. But it's just a thought. It's just a thought. Taking control of the afflicted person's body. Now, in Jewish folklore, these spirits were called Dybbuks. They came from the domain of evil. The person could not be cured until they were exorcised, sent back to where they had come from. Now, the domain of evil is called, in Kabbalistic terminology, the Sitra Ara, the other side, an inversion of the divine world. It is the abode of dark forces. Now, that inversion there, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because we talk about mirrors being portals sometimes. And then we had Jimmy Jeans and his mate, Rio, come on to the show. And they done the inversion of people speaking. Reverse speech. Remember the perverse reverse circus? Remember that? A really good show. Maybe that's what we're getting into here. That magic, you see. It's all back to front, upside down. We say as above, so below. They say everything should be back to front. That's what I'm getting here. Probably not, right? But hey, I'm not a magician. Not yet. Jimmy hasn't trained me. He's like a black belt in magic. Sounds good. It is the abode of dark forces. Angels oversee the world that we live in, and demons dwell on the other side. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think I could contest there's a few of them walking topside. But you think? I can think of a few. I'm just saying. Naming no names. Hey, I don't want to be caught up in any lawsuits or anything. Satan doesn't play a big part in Kabbalistic mythology, although he does appear occasionally as himself. So he has like a cameo role. He just kind of comes in there as Satan with his old forked tail and breathing fire and boo, ooga booga. Boo, I'm Satan. all that kind of jazz going on. Or as himself, or in the guise of the bad angel, Samael. It is not Satan who should worry us most. The things we should fear most are demons, and see that Samael. L. Elites. Elites. L. Feel me? No? It's all in the words, ladies and gentlemen. The greatest danger is when a demon clings onto your soul. That's definitely a precarious position to be in for any man, woman, child, or time traveler. A clinging demon is called a Dybbuk. The Hebrew verb from which the Dybbuk is derived is also used to describe the cleaving of a pious soul to God. The two states are mirror images of each other. See the mirror? See? Next, they'll be saying I'm a Kabbalist. That'll be it. Is it a Kabbalist or a Kabbalist? Tomatoes, tomatoes. Kabbalistic folklore is full of stories about demonic beings. Demons themselves frequently took the shape of cats or black dogs, and sometimes they attached themselves to the lost. Dead souls who, for one reason or another, had not been able to transmigrate successfully. That sounds like, well, I'm not even going to get into that today. So the demon would then guide the renegade soul into the body of a living person, and this gave the soul a refuge, and the demon an opportunity to take control of the possessed person's body. Sounds like Stargate with a Goa'uld, doesn't it? Oh. I was watching about Stargate today, as you can guess, yes. So most frequently, the unfortunate person whom the Dybbuk possessed was a woman. The very sexist, these Dybbuks. They get cancelled nowadays, right? In fact, should we start the campaign? Hashtag cancel Dybbuks. Dybbuks too. See? So, I know. Gets a bit crazy around here at times. It means Dave's in the building. He's never far away. So the image of a Dybbuk, usually a male, of course it was probably a white male. Right now it's getting really kind of very, very steamy. Doing things to her sexually, and an illustration of the doctrine of opposites, male and female, living and dead, pure and impure, all fused together in one human body. Exorcising a Dybbuk, removing the destructive forces from a pure soul, is not just an imperative to save a person who has been possessed. It is a battle in a cosmic war. Wow. They're a line right there. That's how you finish a paragraph, innit? A battle in a cosmic war. Now, I'm laughing and I'm joking, but I very much appreciate that every day we're all in a spiritual battle, whether we know it or not. It is what it is. So it's not wrong. It's not wrong, but it sounds really cool. I'm going to steal that. Of course, today we talk about mental health, not possession by Dybbuks. But in times gone by, possession by spirits was a common way of explaining behaviours that could not otherwise be understood. So common that even those who were not mentally ill but who simply deviated from social norms were frequently considered to be possessed. Well, that isn't in old times. I just suggested at the start of this article that social media was like possessing people, so I don't know. Jewish women believed to be possessed by Dybbuks would have been fared no better in Christian society, where they have been condemned as witches. It's no coincidence that between the 16th and 18th centuries, when fear of Dybbuks was at its peak, people wouldn't come out the houses. They were like hiding. They were hunkering down. They were in the bunkers. The Dybbuks were coming. The Dybbuks are coming. So the church burned between 300,000 and 1 million men and women condemned for witchcraft. Well, I don't know how accurate these figures are, but anywhere in these numbers is kind of scary. And it's not that long ago. It isn't when you think about it in cosmic terms. So it says here, superstition was most pervasive in those years between the Renaissance and the Enlightenment, the very years we call the beginning of modernity. So exorcising a Dybbuk involved removing it from the body in which it had taken up residence and returning it to the world of the dead. See, that at no point does it say you go and shove it in a box and then like give it to somebody as a present. Terrible. In this way, a small piece of the cosmic order would be restored. The Dybbuk, of course, did not want to go. A dramatic, terrifying ritual was required to force the reluctant spirit out of the body in which it was squatting, and the ceremony was conducted in a synagogue in the presence of 10 men who had purified themselves through fasting and ritual immersion. That's pretty fascinating. They would all dress in white shrouds in which a corpse was buried, wreathed in prayer shawls, their heads and arms bound with the sacred parchments worn in daily prayer. The exorcist would address the Dybbuk directly, listing the offences that the soul had committed during its human life, which might include apostasy, tale-bearing, suicide, murder, or ritual deviant conduct. The exorcist would both cajole and threaten the Dybbuk. It would give it the carrot and the stick treatment. You should have two of them, maybe two rabbis, good cop, or good rabbi, bad rabbi. That works. With the Dybbuk fully cognizant of the trouble it was in. Oh, it knows it's been a naughty boy. And its appeal, and the appeal to its better nature concluded. The ark in the synagogue containing the scrolls of the Torah was opened. 7 scrolls were removed. 7 blasts were blown on 7 ram's horns, and 7 black candles were lit. That sounds pretty woo right there. Curses were proclaimed, incantations recited, and 7 different combinations of the 42-letter name of God pronounced. That doesn't sound like anything godly. That sounds like something you'd find in the temple of Satan, isn't it? Black candles. So the Safed or Saved Kabbalist Chaim Vital recorded instructions received from his teacher Isaac Luria for expelling a Dybbuk. It was imperative that the exorcist remained strong-hearted and displaying no fear. The spirit was to leave the body only between the big toe and its nail. Where did they get that from? Any other exit route might cause permanent damage to the possessed person. Crucially, the spirit was to be warned that issue a sternly worded warning. Now listen here, Dybbuk. Any more of that and I'll be dragging you out that toenail anytime soon. With threats and imprecations against entering anybody else. And don't be doing this again. None of it. Okay, Kev. There's no place for the world of the dead in the abode of the living. I like that. There is no place in the world of the dead in the abode of the living. Yes, indeed. So on that note, we're going to take a little couple of minutes interlude there, ladies and gents. Yes, we are. Why? Because we can. My stream, and we'll take a break if I want to. Have a drink, PPP. I'll be back in a moment. There we go. Well, that lost nearly everyone, right? How to kill a stream in one foul swoop with Kev Baker. Yes, I know. No, it's not. I wish it was as simple as that, Geraldine. I could have fixed that easier, probably. I've had a couple of issues with Streamlabs past couple of days when I've been recording things. It updates periodically, and I think this update isn't as stable as I would like it to be. There we go. Double digits. I think we're just into double digits, maybe. It's not about the numbers, folks. If it's about the numbers, we would have given this up years ago, right? Right? It's about what we do here. It's about having fun. And the big box is definitely fun. I think that's everyone back in now. We're not going to hang about too much longer because I'm going to get ready for Doc McCairn coming on. Now, I'm going to get you the link to his channel and things. Don't worry. We're still hanging about for a little moment. And when I was in there, let's see, I need to get the website back on. Give me 2 seconds, folks. So Ken Ami was in the chat room, right? He's probably away again now, but just take a look at some of his books here. There's like, this is mind blowing. And I've had Ken on the show before. I really need to get him back on again. For the Haggis Fund. Oh, dude. The Haggis Fund is definitely very, very appreciative. Thank you very much, Greg.
For the Haggis Fund.
Thank you very much. Honestly, Greg, that's really... Thank you. Dang. See? Love it. So in consideration of the Book of Enoch, Pop Atheist Bible Expositors, featuring Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, Dan Barker, Neil deGrasse Tyson, 50 Shades of Grey Alien, probably one of my favourite titles for a book ever. In consideration of Aliens, UFOs, Billy Meyer, Eric von Däniken, Robert Temple, Travis Walton, Whitley Strieber, Ancient Aliens, Manly P. Hall, and more. Cain as a Serpent Seed of Satan Anthology 1-5. Considering the theory and the personages who propagate it. The Winter of the Overlook Hotel at the Overlook Hotel, or Our Winter at the Overlook Hotel. What is the Haggis Fund? It's what I use to buy haggis. It's as simple as that. I think McCairn is live now, so I'm going to we'll head over there in a minute. We'll see what he's up to. I can hear Kevin behind me. He's probably laughing because he knows that Doc McCairn is my favourite YouTuber. Yes, indeed. And since we're talking McCairn, we just have to play. We have to play the old
genetically modified.
Yep, I know, and I'm like 45 coming up, and I still have to finish things with a big wet fart. It's how I roll here. I know. So listen, I'm going to drop, first of all, Ken Ami's list in the chat room for people to go and check out. It's extensive. The Necronomicon job. The Necronomicon job. Spit that one out, Kev. The Necronomicon job 2 or 1. Lucifer Shrugged.
Lucifer Shrugged.
Yes, indeed. So listen, folks, with that said, let me get over to YouTube. Let's see. Is he live? He is live. He is live. He's warming up, troops. He's warming up. He's warming up as we talk. Yes, him and his crazy memes. He's a hell of a man, his old Doc McCairn. Hell of a man. So listen, with that said, and with the Doc firing up the raccoon squad as we speak. Oh, goodness. I'm laughing because I'm still seeing what's all the memes. The memes that the Doc has got for his intro. It's hilarious. Hilarious. And we'll be talking about that tonight over on the show, which starts in 49 minutes. And even my good friend Greta has got one of the memes over there. Two of the memes. Dear Lord. Anywho, thank you for being here today. The Dybbuk box isn't everything that we were told it was to begin with. However, don't let that take away from the woo, because it could still be that the Dybbuk box has had life or a spirit breathed into it. Why? Because of thought forms, tulpa, our intent, our focus, our attention, Hollywood movies, books, podcasts, news articles, all of those people, all that attention, all that energy, boom. Don't be surprised when things start to manifest. So on that note, I'm going to love you, I'm going to leave you, but join us over on, and I'll give you the link right now. I'd love to see all of you jumping over there. There we go. Share it out, share it far. That's Doc McCairn, and I'll be over there with one of the world's leading neuroscientist researchers back in the day. Yes, indeed. Very, very soon indeed. I want to thank all of you for continuing to support the channel, for hanging out here, for sticking by me, for keeping your minds open, but not to the point where your brains fall out and it turns all to black goo. See how we've done that? So I am out of here, ladies and gents. Keep it real. Keep seeking the truth. Keep looking for the woo. But always, always be true to me and you. Oh.